Facebook that they should go on YouTube. You can put the link, the live stream link on YouTube, so that people can go straight on YouTube to watch. Many people are writing us on Facebook wanting to join the live stream, but unfortunately we couldn't live stream on Facebook. We are rather doing it on YouTube. So please go there and put the link, Grace, so that people can join, and also maybe respond to a couple of people who would like to join, who are in need of the link to join on YouTube. So to the content, which I already mentioned, medical programs in Germany, medical program in Austria, and then we have the volunteering program in Germany. Introduction. I won't dwell on this because I've talked about it. This is just who we are. For those who are just coming in, we are a consultancy. We major in this. So whether you are a recent graduate, you are a professional, or someone simply looking for a new adventure who wants to relocate to Europe for, we call it legal relocation to Europe. We are big on legal relocation to Europe, by the way. So as many as are in the room, please take note, we are only for legal relocation to Europe, whether for study, for work, for whatever purposes, as long as it is legal. That's what we provide. The medical program in Germany. So Germany, as many of you all know, is, like one of the best when it comes to healthcare in the world. I think Germany is on the first 10 lists on so many rankings, especially WHO ranking. Germany is always, whether you are talking about accessibility, or maybe you're talking about coverage or responsiveness or whatever, Germany is usually always top 10. So it's an advanced country with advanced healthcare system. And but then the issue at the moment, which many people are aware of, is that, of course, Germany and many other advanced countries are in need of health professionals because, of course, as it is, it's just what it is, good healthcare system. So that means many people want to come to Germany. Great. Fantastic. So eligibility for those who would like to, work in the medical professional field in Germany. We have, you have to have completed your diploma, vocational training, vocational or whatever diploma you do in your country of origin in the medical field. You must have completed that. That is, you must be a medical professional already in your own country. So you can't come if you are not yet a medical professional. You already have your license in your own country. And of course, that's true, maybe through vocational traineeship or through bachelor's or master's in that medical field. Then you have to do official recognition as a nurse, and that's what I call the licensing, of course, in your own country. Then the other one is you have to have the German language proficiency at the minimum of the B2. Why is this necessary? It's just very logical. Germany is a German-speaking country, not an English-speaking country, not a French-speaking country, not any other language-speaking country. It's a German-speaking country. And so you can only treat, of course, do whatever you want to do in the medical field in the German language as it is anywhere. You will only go to the hospital or practice and expect, of course, to speak the language, your official language, right, of your country. So it's the same thing in Germany. So to be a medical professional in Germany, that is unnegotiable. Now, there are some country eligibility. I know some people are in the room who are from a couple of other countries that are not on this list, but please, there's a reason behind this, which we won't dwell too much on, but there are certain countries that, for certain reasons, it is a bit tricky. I would say tricky. I never say anything is impossible, but I always say tricky. So it is a bit tricky for people from certain countries to do this, work or practice in Germany, because these countries are considered to already have a shortage of health workers. So it will be insensitive of developed nations like Germany to pull, medical professionals from countries that already have shortage, if you understand what I mean. So this is one of the reasons why some countries, it's tricky. So for us, if you want to probably use our services, or if you have even heard many consultancy agencies, government bodies talk about it, if you apply to us or wherever, if you are from these countries, in this we have pulled from Africa, because our focus is on Africans, by the way. But if you are not, if your country is not on this list, and you are a medical professional and you are interested in practicing in Germany or in Austria, of course, I'm talking about Germany now, you can still reach out to us, by the way. Reach out to us, and we are able to provide you, we would tell you there's another legal route you can explore, but of course, it will require higher commitment. And so you can reach out. I put my direct email there, that you can reach me. And please, only for those who are not from this particular country. If you're from this country or you are for another service and you write this email, I will most likely not respond. Please write the other email, applications@verifyconsult.de. But this is for those who want to book some discounted consultation personally with me, medical professionals from countries not on this list, and who are still interested and are willing to put in the financial commitment. Now, steps. If you fall under the category of those who can come in, you sign up for a German course. You need to have about the A1, you need to have the B2, a minimum of the B2 to be able to proceed with this step if you are a doctor or a speech therapist. So that means you learn A1, A2, B1, B2, it's like 4 levels, you understand? And then you are eligible to, at least start the process. And then for others, like nurses and some others, you can have A1 to B1. That's A1, A2, and B1, like 3 levels. And then you write the test. You have the international test that you write in German. And once you pass that test, you are almost good to go. Then, of course, you start the process. One most people refer to as licensing, which we call like recognition. So you want to recognize your medical, so that means you want to work towards getting licensed to practice in Germany as a medical professional. Now, for this one, most times when you start the process, of course, when you do it with the government, most times from experience, most countries will not have direct acceptance into being, into getting the license. In most countries coming from other parts of the world will most likely need to take a few courses or programs to make up for certain areas. I told you at the beginning that Germany has a very strong healthcare system, on the top 10 or in the top 10 in the world. So what do you expect? It's a very high, let's say it's a very stringent system. Like Germany is very particular about the type of professionals who come into its health system, which is why most likely almost everybody I know from non-EU countries will have to make up for certain like gaps that the system will most likely discover when you start the licensing program. So if you fall under this category, which most of you in the room are going to fall under, you will have to do a short, they call like some short program, just a few programs to fill up the gaps that they would have noticed on your current certificate and qualification. And during this program, you go to the school. Of course, most of the schools you pay something. The government can also sponsor. So this is where we come and we can guide you. And then you can also get sponsorship from some clinics that like Praxis, where they can also sponsor you. So it depends on, for such you get like assistantship offer. So you can work more like an assistant in your profession whilst your recognition or licensing process is going on. But if you are looking for this sort of opportunities where you can, be an assistant and everything, of course you need like the B2 level, even if you're a nurse. Otherwise it's difficult. It's competitive, and we also need strong language skills to be able to fall under this. And then, of course, you write your exam to get licensed, which is done everywhere in the world. You have to write the licensing exam for you to be able to practice. And of course, you can secure a job. Don't forget, whilst the recognition process is going on, you are able to, of course, like I said, work as an assistant somewhere. You can't do the full thing until you get your full licensing, but you can practice, like as an assistant, and you are earning some money and, getting along in the country and probably even doing some other extra by the side jobs, and then you are able to get it. So a couple of job opportunities. I just wanted to give you an idea. Let me show you a few things that might interest you. Countries I mentioned to you, and then you want to go through the process. Many people have done it. Many people are doing it. It's pretty straightforward as long as you are ready to go through the process. So I'll continue with my slides. Talking about salaries. I've had a couple of people ask me about salaries, of course. This is Germany, and this is more like this is just, these are around, I'm not being specific here. I'm just giving you like estimate, like around kind of situation. So starting salary of this range pretty much, and then for the physicians pretty much this range as well, and of course specialists, these are just ranges, like I said, so it could be way higher than this and all that, just giving you an idea of what is to be expected. That is for Germany. For Austria, which I'll be quick about because they are quite similar, have very, very close system or situation as well. So as a medical professional who wants to relocate to Austria, it's pretty much the same system, where Austria is also German speaking. So it's just like, many people don't know this because I hear this every time, and many people, so Austria is not Australia. Australia is completely on another continent, by the way, and Austria is in Europe, and Austria's official language is German. So that's why it has almost the same system. It's also right beside German, when you're looking at location on the map and in reality. So if you want to also practice in Austria, if not in Germany, then you go through a similar process. You also have your certificates. You're already a medical professional in your country. You have your license in your country. You have your bachelor's, your master's, or your vocational traineeship that qualified you to be a medical professional from an accredited institution. Please, anything you are submitting must be from a recognized institution from your country, and the proficiency in German, which we teach. Now, medical professions of interest, these are like top on the list: nurses, and you can read it since we are all looking at my screen right now. Opticians, midwives, and all that. If you fall under this category, you may want to consider. And remember, if you fall under those countries I mentioned, again, this is a best shot for you. If you're not in those countries, I told you, you can reach out to me and I can tell you some of the ways that we can go about it, which is more commitment, it's a bigger commitment. And then the step, very close to the one of Germany, you sign up for your German course so you can have your B2 minimum. You write your test, you do the they call the nostrification, which is like the recognition in Germany. So you get your, they want to check your, just like Germany, they want to check your documents, your qualification to see if it matches, like if it is equivalent of those taken or those acquired in their own country. And then just like in Germany, most likely they would find gaps. So because of the gaps, you will go through like an adjustment program. Just like the same for Germany, you go there in one of the medical schools and, fill in the gaps, maybe a few months, or it depends. They will tell you specifically the gaps that, are directed at you. So it's not generic. So everybody is treated individually. So they look at your transcripts, your experience, everything, and determine the gaps you need to fill up. You understand? And then you will fill up this gap in the program you will then come over to do the program on ground. And then you can practice, like I said, as an assistant or something whilst that is going on, and then you can secure your job. Please remember to mute yourself. Anyone who doesn't mute themselves will be thrown out, please, so we can have peace and quiet in the room. Thank you. Now, how do we come in? Well, I'm sure many people have been writing to us, like our emails and phones have been buzzing, with people asking, so with all this info, how then do we go? Because all those things I just told you, I say they are straightforward, but in the real sense, you may need professional help to get to navigate the process, especially when you are not in Germany or in Austria. So this is where we come in. We have this program that we call nurses, doctors relocation program. We just call it that name. So other professions in the medical field, they are also welcomed, as long as they are also willing to go through the process, because anything medical, you just have to go through these processes I've explained to you. So for us, we provide the service like 100%, like all through, so that you are able to get what you want as long as you are willing to put in the work. So we offer the German course, called German program, German language learning program. And this can be learned between 6 and 9 months, depending on the level you want to learn, depending on your pace, depending on you, because we for medical professionals, we do it on a one-on-one basis, and there is a reason for that. We don't want people who put in a lot and then in the end they don't pass their German, international German exam. We want people, so we will drill you, groom you, like really, really drill you so that you can do well. And also because we know you are professionals, you are working, so your time, your availabilities will be different. They won't be the same. That's why we usually do this one-on-one instead of group lessons. But for those who want to come together as a group, maybe from two people and above who want to come and have it as a group, it's also possible. You can do it as a group if that's what you want. But for us, we offer this premium service, let's say as a one-on-one, like I said, so that we can focus on you, on your needs, and drill you and ensure that especially your spoken German, and also because it's a special program, medical. So we also put focus on the medical, like medical terminologies and all that come into play. So one-on-one classes, we offer our lessons online for all those who have been asking me. The world has become so global that we can all learn wherever we are, get good knowledge wherever we are online, which is fantastic, right? And we have specialized speaking sessions in small groups. We have personalized tutors, students. We deal with you based on you. So it's more like a you kind of, we focus on you and deal with your needs so that you can acquire this on time. That's why some people will acquire it in 6 months quickly so that their move can be way faster. And of course, you write your test and then the special exam. Now, for some people in the house who are like, oh, I don't want to go through 6 months, 9 months. I want to travel tomorrow. If you're a medical professional, you want to travel tomorrow. It's possible, but of course, you're not coming straight up to come and start practicing. But if you have that in mind, we have other, like I mentioned to you the other time, there are other routes, other legal. Remember, we are for legal. So other legal routes that you can, but be ready to spend way more. So if you have your money to go through this and you don't want to go through 6 months online at home, it's fine. We can work it out. Reach out to us as well. And then we can guide you through how you can get it done, spending more money, but you can then come on ground and you still learn the language on ground, by the way. And then recognition of certificates, we do that as well. We help you. Like I said, the whole process I mentioned to you, it might be way complicated if you are not on ground or if you are not informed or if you do not know the way. So it's a lot of things to put in place that we do. And in the end, of course, we help you with the job placement. I need to move. Okay. So at this point, I'll pause a bit. I think I have 10 minutes for questions. Please, after 10 minutes, we'll close the question room. Please, you can unmute yourselves. Let's be civil. Okay, let's do it by raising of hands. So you have questions up until this point, please raise up your hands and I'll call you and then you can do that. Okay, let me see the hands that are raised. Hold on, please. I'm trying to see the first hand. I can't see the names. That's why. Please, if you are not yet called, don't unmute. Some people it's a little bit complicated muting them. I might throw them out if they are not muted. Yeah, so right on my list I have Jay. Jay, please unmute yourself.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I joined quite late, and what I want to know is about the qualifications for joining this program.
Are you a medical professional?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I mentioned it and I showed the slides already. You must be licensed in your country already, and then you have a minimum of the B2 language skill. You came late, but of course you can get the recording of this program afterwards.
Okay.
Please mute yourself again. Can we have Nadia on mute, please?
Hi.
Hi.
I basically just wanted to know, I joined late because I had technical difficulties. So I just wanted to know, did I miss out on any part regarding volunteering, or is it
So
still to be touched on?
we haven't done that. We've only been done with the medical professionals now. So you
All
haven't missed
right.
anything.
Oh,
Great.
okay. Thank you so much.
Um, Great. You're welcome, Carissa. Carissa, please, can you unmute yourself?
Good morning, sorry.
Okay, morning, please go ahead.
Regarding the part of the countries that were listed, if one of the countries was listed, but you're not from that country, but you're registered in that country and work there, how are you supposed to apply? As a other or with your current registration where you're working?
Okay, well, it's more, yeah. Thanks for that question, by the way. It's actually more of where you got your license. So if your licensing is in one of those countries, especially if you work in that country, then you do have a better chance.
Thank you. And just one more question.
Okay.
Regarding work experience, does this also include students or just those that have work experience?
You mean work experience in as a medical professional?
Yes.
So you must have a license already. And of course, you must have some work experience. Otherwise, it's difficult. But of course, have your license, have a few months or years experience, it will be fine. But not for students who don't have certification. There is noise at your end, please.
All right, thank you.
So please mute yourself, please. Please mute yourself so you are not thrown out. Okay. I'm having to mute some people and some people are muting and they will be thrown out. Please mute yourself so we can have this meeting. Grace, please help me find who is disturbing and help me throw them out of the room. I think it's Nancy. Nancy, mute yourself or you are getting thrown out. Thank you. Galaxy A20, please ask your question. We have few more minutes. Please make it quick. Galaxy A20.
Okay, good morning.
Morning.
Actually, I'm not a profession, but I have completed my B1 a certificate. Where can I apply with it in Germany if I want to come work in Germany?
I can't get your question. What's your question, please?
Like I went through the course for the German course and I have a B1 certificate. Where can I apply with it in Germany?
Your network is bad, so we can't hear you. I'm sorry. We might have to move on to the next person. Please type it in the chat. Please mute yourself. Dowd Augustine, let's have you, please.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, my question, I was asking that German language, it is very complex. So, and you said that it is compulsory to learn it. So how can you ensure me so that I can join that program? Also, I'm a medical professional. So what should I do in order to be simplified? So are your tools or your method of teaching, is it simple or is it complex? So how can you assist me so that I can join the program? Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks for the question. There is nothing complex about any language. I am a linguist, so I'll tell you that every time. You just have to follow whatever you're taught and put your mind. So at Verify Consult, I mentioned it earlier that we teach based on we have this, like it's not generic. It's kind of based on personnel, sort of. That's why we also most times do one-on-one teaching, especially for the medical professional. So there's nothing complicated about it. If you are interested in this, make sure you wait till the end of this webinar. By the way, we have like a tip of iceberg of what German lessons look like, or at least what the German language looks like. That'll probably encourage you and see that there's nothing big deal about it. So we'll teach you and you learn it and you speak, and many people have done it. So you are not going to be an exception. Nicholas, please, you have the room. Nicholas Muchira. Dowd, please mute yourself. Nicholas Muchira, you have the
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the chance. I am Nicholas, and I would like to ask a question. Hello.
Please go ahead. We can hear you.
Hello.
Nicholas, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
Shit.
Okay,
I would
Nicholas.
like to ask a question.
If you can't hear us, can you hear us? We can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Please go ahead. We could hear you all along.
All right. I have seen the list. I have seen the list of the professions that are in great demand. But I'm a health records officer here in Kenya. But I've done something in caregiving and everything. So is that really applicable? Can I get also to take the language test and everything to come along and practice there?
The rule is you must be a licensed medical professional in your country. So I'm not sure I can answer your question clearly as long as you know yourself. So if you are a licensed medical professional, then if you are,
I am registered.
Yeah, so if you are a registered medical professional, then you qualify. Great.
My question was based on the list. I didn't see like my career there, so I'm kind of worried about that.
Don't be worried. Please reach out to us and write an email, and we can tell you. We can't list all medical professionals. You get what I mean? It's impossible to have all the lists of medical professionals. Yeah. So that might be what is playing out. So we listed those that like are probably in very high demand, but that doesn't mean that yours wouldn't fall in. So you can reach out and let us know what you have. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Fantastic. Please mute yourself. I don't think we have any other hands raised at this time. So we will, if I missed out, please write your question in the chat. Grace can point Grace, do we have any questions in the chat? for medical program, by the way, not just Grace. Is Grace there?
Yes, ma, I am.
We have any pressing medical program in chat, especially the one from the person who we couldn't hear. Any pressing one that
Okay, I think I have seen one. Can I try to read it out?
Please do.
Okay, the person says hi. The person's name is Tripod. I want to ask if what you mean by being licensed is the same as having a medical qualification, course, diploma, or degree.
Yes, Tripod, that's what it is. You are for instance, if you are a nurse, then you are a registered nurse. You get that thing that makes you qualified to practice in your country, that certificate or licensing. Medical professionals know what I mean, by the way. They know what it means. So I want to move on now to the volunteering. So the volunteering program in Germany, we call it FSJ-BFD. So, I mentioned at the beginning that we are all for legal, everything legal, legal, legal. So if you are interested, many people are in the room today who are not medical professionals, but they are young people who would like to volunteer in Germany, and this is specifically for Germany, by the way. So we have what we call the FSJ or the BFD program. I'll tell you what they mean. So like voluntary social year in Germany. So young people can come to work in social sectors and education institutions, healthcare facilities, and the likes for about 1 year. It's a very common one. So by the way, and it's one of the easiest ways. If you're from Kenya here, many Kenyans embrace this program, and I understand it's not that complicated for you to even get your visa if you're from, let's say, East Africa. And I'm not ruling out other parts. I'm just talking based on the demography that I see around, or that we get to see around. But it's for so many people. So if you're interested in coming to Germany as a volunteer, what are you waiting for when everybody is already doing this? So for those who are 26 years and below, so I'm sorry, if you are above 26, you can't do FSJ. That's like, you can't do this particular one. Now they'll pay you pocket money, and you come to Germany, you volunteer in your sector, and then you get your money and you're surviving and everything. Requirements, I'll go straight into it. So it's for typically 12 months. And you are expected to commit to the entire duration of the program. So you can't come and say, I found a job along the line. I want to move. You can't do whatever you like. Otherwise, of course, then there'll be an issue. So you commit to that. Basic German proficiency is required. Those who were here when we started this meeting, they heard me talk about the importance of why German language is inevitable for so many things in Germany, because it's a German-speaking country. The official language of Germany is German, not English. So even though you can get by with English in so many places because it's an international world, right? But then for most things, for integration processes and a lot of reasons, you need German. So for you to be a volunteer, or to even get a chance at getting a volunteer's position, you should have at least an A2 German proficiency. And of course, you should have some, an high school certificate. I'm always saying it, that you need a document. Otherwise, nobody sees anyone who doesn't have any certificate whatsoever. Nobody sees them as serious people when there's a lot of competition with people with, great certificates, by the way. So that's the way it works for FSJ. And then for the BFD, now, don't bother about all these heavy names in German. Just use the acronym and you're fine. So the BFD is like more of a government federal one. And this one, the difference is, well, it's for those who are now, it's for any age. So even though you are older than 26, then this will work for you. They also pay, it's pretty much the same in quote. You have most things similar. And then you need the German skill, like I said. The higher skill you have, the better, your chance at getting a spot with any of these organizations. So A1, A2, B1, you'll be good to go. You also keep learning when you get on ground, by the way. Now for the BFD, I need to make a disclosure so that some people in the room were like, yes, I know something about it and all that. So at the moment, it's on hold, sort of on hold. So it's not been canceled because we've been hearing people saying things, oh, it's been abolished. No. It's on hold for certain reasons. And the truth is, we don't know when. It can pick up anytime. So my advice to people is, if you are interested in this, don't even wait. Start learning your language now. It can open again anytime. We can't tell because it was just put on hold, I think, in November. And it was not something that people knew ahead. So the same way we didn't know ahead, is the same way it can also be open anytime soon. And of course, I always tell people, learning the language gives you an opportunity for anything. There's Germany, there's Austria, there's Luxembourg, there's Switzerland. These are countries where German is being spoken. So the point is, even if you are learning towards PFD and it's not open and you are concluding your German course, trust me, we have other programs we will suggest to you that you can also still use. Several ways you can come to German. Well, this is about volunteering and medical professionals, so I'm not going to talk about the other routes. I won't focus on that for now. I'm just letting you know, get you that disclosure. And these are some of the places, or let's say where you can volunteer, or the sectors. Okay, so I have something here. So for those on YouTube and Facebook, if you have questions, please write to us. Please write it. Grace can track and let me know. And then you can put in the chat box, everybody in the room, please, you can put in the chat box where you are joining us from. Please help us write in the chat box as this is going on. Let's know where you are from. Grace, you can also create a poll. You can create a poll for this as well if you want to, as this is going on. But guys, please, you can write us in the chat where you're joining us from, so we know, where people are from. So these are some of the sectors, but major sectors. So aid and welfare organizations, schools, NGOs. So you can work in the social sector, like social services, work with children and adolescents, teenagers. You can work in civil protection, refugee support, rescue, medical services, care. You can be any of such agencies, organizations. So opportunities abound. So many people also ask me things like, okay, so what next? So when I'm done with my volunteering, will Germany kick me out? So what do I do afterwards? I mean, you want to have a long-term plan, right? This is where it gets even more interesting. So after your volunteering experience, you don't have to go back if you don't want to go back. You don't have to go back. Unless you want to go back, it's okay. But if you don't want to go back, this is there are limitless opportunities, but many people have been observed to proceed until the following. So many people go for the bachelor's. For those who don't have, please mute yourself. Please, Galaxy S7 Edge, please mute yourself or you risk being thrown out. Okay, I guess we could mute you too. If you don't have a bachelor's or you want to do another bachelor's as an example, you can go on to that after your 12 months, or you can go for your master's if you already have bachelor's, right? Many people go for vocational traineeship. This particular webinar is not about vocational. We've done one about vocational traineeship in the past, and we'll still do another one. You can watch out for that if that's your interest. So, but many people after their the volunteering in Germany proceed on to vocational, the one we call Ausbildung. It's very common. That's probably what more than 50% of people go on to. Some people go on to dual studies. It's close to what Ausbildung, the vocational traineeship, is like, but they will just get a bachelor certificate afterwards. And some people, they get jobs. So the opportunities abound is what I'm trying to say. So you don't necessarily have to go back if you do not want to go back. That's why, remember at the beginning, I said we provide legal means or legal, we talk about, or we provide services on legal means that people who are interested in relocating to Europe can use. Not just for Germany, but today is about Germany and Austria, like I said at the beginning, but that's what we do. And that is why I'm telling you what some people do when, when they're like, what do I do and all that. Great. Please drop your hands if you raised your hands at the beginning for the medical, so that I'm not confused. I still have some hands that should have been dropped by now, so that the new hands, I can see them. Thank you. Great. You're doing great. How do we come in? Just the same way I mentioned for the medical program. I told you at the beginning, you need German skills. Otherwise, it will be super difficult for you to get a volunteering spot in Germany. So you need what we call basic. Well, if you have B1, it's fantastic, but a minimum of the A2 anyway. So we provide that, we can teach you. This one is faster. In 12 weeks, rigorous, 12 weeks, you are attentive. We do a group class for this one. If you want one-on-one, it's also cool. We can also provide one-on-one. It's awesome. But if you do not want one-on-one, and you want the group, which is the standard that we do for these volunteering thing, you can learn with us as a group in 12 weeks. A class will be starting, I think, next week or so. A class will be starting, a group will be starting. So you can prepare to join that. 10 hours per week thereabout will tell you what the schedule is like. We provide the same superb service. One-on-one, we know we have tutor student support. We do that a lot. And then what you will probably not get anywhere. You learn this with us, and we still cover the cost of one sitting of your international test, because after the class, you have to write the international test. That's the certificate you will present to be able to, you need that certificate to be able to apply. That's the recognized certificate. So what you pay for your lesson will also cover the one sitting. And then we provide the placement thing. Now, please take notes. We only provide this service for those who learn with us, who learn the German language, yes, with us, because they learn with us, and all you pay for is the German language course. And then those who learn with us are the ones we help with the volunteering service itself, help them to search for offers and place them somewhere. Well, that's it from my end. I don't know if you've identified anything you're interested in, but this is the time for questions. If you have any questions, this is the time to throw the questions. I'm ready to catch them. Great, hands are on already. Please just raise your hands, and then I'll call people as I see their hands. Okay, the hands are coming in, but I got the one from Habimana Remy first. Please unmute yourself and speak. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Lemi, and I'm from Rwanda. And I have B1 certificate. So here is what I want to know. So I want to know how to apply for voluntary service in Germany, and how long it takes to acquire a contract from those organizations.
Okay, thanks for the question. So if you are going to be going through us, like I just said, that was the last sentence I made, that we provide this service for those who study with us. Now, in your own case, you already have the B1, which is fantastic. But what we do is we cannot provide the service at free of charge for you if you do not learn with us. So what it means is you will have to pay exactly what those who are paying for the course, you pay exactly the same amount, and then we can provide the service for you. Now, talking about duration, I can't tell you. It's just like you are applying for a job. It's how do I explain to you? We are not the organization. Reify does not employ itself. So we help you get. So we would employ you. So that means you go through the process, right? And everything, interviews and all this. So we can't tell you specifically how soon you can get, but the earlier you start, the better. So it could run into a few weeks, it could run into a few months. It depends.
Okay, so how much for processing fee?
Yeah, we will get into that once I'm done with these questions. Galaxy A20s. Please unmute yourself. Galaxy A20s, yeah, you have the floor. Okay, the person is not unmuted. So can we have Abdullahi Mohammed? Abdullahi Mohammed, please, you have the floor. Abdullahi, please unmute yourself. Are you having troubles unmuting? If you are unable to unmute yourself for whatever reason, you can write your question in the chat. Terry, can you take the floor, please? Terry Marion.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening.
Okay, it's afternoon here. Oh, it's still morning. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, where I am, it is not morning. So my question was, like, for example, certified nurse assistant, what procedure do I need to do so that I can apply and then I come to Germany?
Oh, we didn't hear you. It was breaking. You said for...
Like, for example, for me, I'm a certified nurse assistant. So
You are
what
what?
procedure do I need? Nurse assistant.
You are a class assistant. So I mentioned earlier that for volunteers, if you are coming for FSJ, 26 years and below is what that's the main thing. And you should have at least a high school certificate, and then you're ready to learn your language or you already have the language, and then you're fine. It doesn't matter if you're a class assistant or if you are something else.
So what is the cost for the training?
Yeah, we'll go on to that. We'll go on to that now. We want to pick these questions first. We have a couple of hands, so I'll move on to the next. Techno K15Q, please unmute yourself. Techno K15Q. Terry, please mute yourself. Okay. The Techno.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Afternoon.
I just wanted to ask, you say to learn these languages with you, one has to pay, right? Or did I not get you right?
We can't hear you. It's noisy at your end.
You said for one to learn the German language with you, they have to pay, or did I not get you right?
They have to what?
Pay.
Of course, we are not an NGO. We are a consultancy. You pay for your language lesson. That is standard. So we'll talk about the cost very soon. Is that your question? So I can move on to the next person.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, great. Laimi Hawala, I think you are next. Please ask your question.
Hi, I trust that you're doing well. I also wanted to ask regarding costs. Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Does the place we are volunteering at, do they cover like all our costs, like the flights and everything?
No, you must be able to at least get yourself down here. So you're coming to volunteer and they're not taking over all the cost of your everything. They'll pay you the stipend you need here to survive here, but you have to, of course, bring yourself down here.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Fred Amolo. You have the floor.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Yeah.
Yes, so I've got a couple of questions here. You'll bear with me. The first question is, can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead so that we can quickly
I can
answer.
get some noises from the background. That's why I get
Please
distracted.
mute yourself, whoever is. I can't see who is disturbing, by the way. Please go ahead, Fred. Time is running.
Okay, okay. Regarding your classes, are they on a rolling basis or you have specific intake durations?
So they're on a rolling basis.
Oh, that means that anyone or someone can join at any specific time, at any given time.
Oh, okay. I think I get what you mean. I thought you meant that you can join like you can start. I think I got it wrong. You can't just join at any point. It's a language lesson. You need foundation. So you start, if you don't join a particular group, you can't join that group again. Then you have to wait for another group to start, and then you can join a group, a new group. It's a language course. So there's no way you can just do and join anywhere. You have to get language is about building foundation. So you go through that. You can't just join at any point.
My question is, like, do you have specific intake durations? Like, for example, during the year, we can only take a number of students in our January intake or April intake or June intake, so that someone organizes himself regarding finances? Or is it that anytime I'm ready with the money, I can just contact you and I will be enrolled for the classes?
Well, if you are not ready to join now, as an example, and then you are ready to join, you write us, and then when a new group is starting, we can put you in that group, tell you if the group is starting or not.
So how frequent do you have groups starting?
It depends on the need. How will I put it now? It depends on the interest we get.
The interest. Like the number of applications you receive from people.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if I'm not able to join your next week intake, if I had you right, you have an intake next week. So I will keep on contacting you until such a point there shall be a window for me to come in.
Like I said, it's about the interest. So if you are ready, then you become one interest as an example. And then let's say Hawala is ready and then she becomes the second interest. Then that's like an interest. Of course, the class can open. You get what I mean?
So what's the approximate number of people in your classes, or the size of your classes?
So we make our classes quite small because we want to, we want to be productive. So it's like 5 people per group. And then we another. So it is very relational, so people can actually really get. We don't like large groups because it's yeah. Okay.
Thank you. The second question. Sorry, I'm not done.
Yeah, almost running out of time. We need to pick other people.
Okay. So let me make it quick. The second question is, being that the BFD program is on hold, do you still offer the house building placement like you do for the volunteering?
Like if you do not want volunteering, you will do house building. Yeah, if you want house building, if that's it, it's the same, like almost the same process. It's just that this particular event is not for house building, but it's the same process. So if you are interested in house building and not the other one, well, just be ready to learn. That one will be a minimum of B1. We advise B2, but a minimum of B1. And then
the reason why I'm inquiring that is because the FSYOT program is age capped. So for those people who might be above 26, you will be left with no other option but to look for other things beyond volunteering.
Yeah,
that's why I asked you about house building.
I get your reasoning, and that's also what I mentioned at the beginning. You can always, there are other things you can go on to. I'm sorry, I need to move on to the next person. I think Abdullahi, I don't know if Abdullahi has finally spoken. Please drop your hands if you have spoken so we know who is left. I have about 3 minutes to go on this. Okay, if Abdullahi is not talking, then Evans is like, I can see you. It's like you're ready to shoot. Please go ahead. You need to unmute yourself first.
Okay, I'll unmute myself. Good morning once again.
Morning.
Actually, some of us were having a bit challenge with our laptops and other things, but we thank God we are be able to join the group.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yes, my interest is on the same page as my brother or the guy just spoke now concerning. So, what is the difference between the voluntary and then the person who doesn't want to volunteer but wants to just, he has the passion to work. So what happens?
I'm not sure I understand what you mean by passion to work. I'm sure other people are smiling in the room because it's like, who doesn't want to work?
Yes, there are some people, the reason why I say passion to work, simple means others are there. They don't have the passion to work. They just want to have the opportunity to come there. But they are not being, they
are not what?
They are not being passionate about what they want, actually. That is why I said passionate to work.
I don't know what you mean, but I'm interrupting because we need to move fast. We have just 2 minutes left in the session.
Okay.
So the thing is, I don't know what you mean, but we are for those who want to relocate legally to Europe, either for study or for work, and everything in between work is where we classify volunteering, vocational traineeship, and professional job thing itself. All those ones we classify under our work service. So as long as you fall under those, I don't know what you mean by those who have passion. So those who don't want to do volunteering, I mentioned at the beginning that we have some other programs, but this particular webinar is for medical professionals and volunteering. So if you are interested in any of our other services, please visit our website, which I'll put in the chat right now for everybody to see. I hope I am able to access the chat.
Okay, so some of us are not in the medical field, but we have ever worked in the medical field for about, I was once a assistant system administrator.
I'm sorry, I'll be sorry. Evans, I'm sorry, I need to cut you. The rule for the medical thing is if you are a licensed professional in your own country, you're a registered nurse, registered doctor, physician, whatever, that is when you fall under that category. If you are not any of those, please, you can try other means. If you do not want to volunteer and you want some other means, please visit our website and write us an email and then we can talk about it. I do need to move on, please.
Okay,
so Nene Awal, you have the floor. I'm out of time. Nene Awal, please take the floor and then we move on.
So good morning to everybody. So I'm Nene Awal, as you have said. So I would like to know, as I have already got my BI certificate from Goethe Institute, is that possible for me to apply without doing your courses?
I'm sure I responded to that, somebody before you asked, and then I mentioned it that we provide this service, our volunteering service for those who learn with us, because we pride ourselves as not charging for the volunteering placement and such and everything of its own, but we charge for the language course. And then those who study with us are those who would provide the volunteering search and placement program for. So in your own case, if you're interested and you already have the language, it doesn't matter, you will still have to, then you have to pay the entire fee of our course. And then that is what qualifies you, which takes me to my cost page. I do hope I answered your question, Nene.
Okay, thank you.
Fantastic. So this takes me to the cost place. This is our cost page. So everybody who has been asking me what is happening, how much, and this is the how much. So for the medical relocation program, for today, we are doing a heavy discount for those who are in the room with us today, because we want many people to benefit from this. Now, the medical relocation program, the regular cost is 3,500 euros. But for today, we have a special discount of 2,500. Now, it's payable in 5 installments. Now, this covers the language, one-on-one language course I told you about, the A1, A2, B1, I think B2 as well. I'm trying to remember now. And then, I think it covers the B2. And then the whole recognition process, which, by the way, trust me, it is money consuming. I mean, you pay all the bodies. We do a lot of payments here. We pay because German government will not do it for free for you. Will not, you have to pay. please reach out to us and then we can tell you all those things that are involved. But the point is, this is the cost. This is the highly discounted cost that we are offering today for today. This is how it works. If you're interested in any of these programs, please reach out to Grace. Grace, how can they reach out to you now as this is going on? If you find, how do we find Grace in the chat? So that you just write directly to Grace. Grace, can you say hello to everybody in the chat and then let everybody find your name and they can write you directly in the chat. If you're interested in any of these programs, if you want to join this particular discount, reach out to Grace. Now, you don't, of course, if you can't, let's say you can't, Grace, is that you using 820s?
No, I'm joining via multi-language. Hello, everyone. I think the fastest means, because we'll be going through, we're going into the lesson proper. So I think they should just send us an email. And what do you think, Ma?
And so what we're trying to do is those who reach out to us today, like before the end of this event, and say, I am interested in this and working with us, they show their interest, they reach out to you, they show their interest before the end of this program, we will reserve a slot for them under this special discount. But that means, of course, they are joining our next batch. It's not like you are waiting until next year. No, you are not reserving a slot for next year. You are reserving a slot against maybe next month, this month, or next month at the latest. That's what you are reserving the slot for. And of course, like I said, payment is in 5 installments, so we can discuss how that works. So if you are interested, Grace, you can say hi in the chat, and then people can send you a direct message.
Okay.
Or alternatively, if they don't want to, it's both. You can put your email in the chat. So they either write you directly in the chat or they send you an email directly. So you can put your email, the application's email, you can put it their email. Juven Kyle is asking the question, which is quite funny. You can check our footprint online. That it's a digital world. So there's almost so Juvens, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing your name well, but Kyle, you're asking a question in the chat. You don't have to stress yourself too hard about our organization. So you can find us online. Find Verify Consult online and you can get all your answers online as to who we are. And of course, you can find me online as well. And then you can read about us, and Footprint tells you a lot about who you are dealing with, if they are credible or not. So find us online and we exist. And if you want to visit us in Leipzig in Germany, you are welcome to visit us as well. That is that. I don't know, Grace can tell me any other questions maybe for later because we have to move. I hope I picked all the hands. Abdul, is that your hand? No, I think you didn't speak. So please, all the hands should be down if you are not talking again. So this is it. If you are interested, like I said, reach out to Grace right now and book a slot. The same thing for please mute yourself. The same thing for the volunteering program. If you are interested, this is heavily discounted, like super discounted. Like I am asking myself how we want to cover the cost of all the things we will do with this kind of discount. And that is why please mute yourself, whoever is talking now, or we get you thrown out. So I'm asking myself how we're going to cover the cost of this one right now, but of course we really want to, this is for this, just during the course of this program, you can book, you can reserve your slot for the volunteering as well, which is $415, is payable in 2 installments. So you can join the coming batch next week or join the one next month or whichever, but it can't be more, you can't reserve for longer than next month. So for those who want to reserve, reach out to Grace right now or write us an email. I think the email should be in the chat already. applications@verifyconsult.de.
Yes, it's on the chat already.
And some people already put their emails. I think they were I think the people who put their emails, I feel you are writing ahead, right? Like that's your notification, your booking. That's what I want. So Grace can take note of the people and then reach out to them later. Someone is asking question for the medical. Please see the cost online. So on the screen, so I don't waste time on that. That is the cost for those who are interested in the medical program. I said the language program is in that course. So you will learn A1, A2, B1, B2 for programs. One-on-one, by the way. So you can't get this cost anywhere in Germany. You even back home, you won't get the same deal. So you get that. And then not just the language, you also have all the recognition. And I mentioned recently someone asking who is surprised at the cost. Like I said, German government will not do your recognition for free for you. You
tips on how you can learn German faster. So the first tip I want to share, and this applies to any language that you want to learn, is input. What does input mean? Try to listen to this language as much as you can. Find series, YouTube videos, listen to songs. In any way you can, try to consume this language. Try to listen to it as much as possible, because your brain never stops paying attention. Even if we think, okay, I'm not paying attention to this is too much to understand, to watch a full series in German, your brain is always listening from your subconscious. So there is vocabulary being learned subconsciously. So the second tip is learn grammar properly. Specifically with German, you cannot really learn the language fluently and accurately without learning grammar. The German grammar is very, very complex, and you cannot just get it or translate it or somehow magically acquire it without learning the basics properly. So my advice to learn German grammar is to, first of all, be patient with yourself, acknowledge that this is a complete different language, that it does not work the same way English works or whatever your native language is. It is going to be different, and this is why I cannot emphasize enough the importance of listening, consuming the language in any way possible, not just by listening to it, also reading. And pay attention to these big differences in the grammatical structure. Be patient with yourself. You will acquire them. The more you repeat, the more you are exposed to the language, the more you try to pay attention to these differences, the easier it will get with time. Now, when it comes to learning vocabulary, there are a lot of tips to learn vocabulary, but one thing I actually want to focus on is to keep a notebook, or if you are using any apps to learn vocabulary, to try and keep the vocabulary separated by topics. There are a lot of words in the German language that are very difficult to remember because they don't sound like anything in English. So sometimes I think it is better to keep in a notebook, or however you want to register your vocabulary, to keep it separated in sections related to topics. So for example, family, environment, and all these topics that are normally covered in a textbook, in a German textbook, according to the levels. So yeah, try to keep the vocabulary separated in sections divided by topics. Last but not least, try to use the language in any way you can. For example, by either writing or trying to speak to someone. Now, trying to speak to someone could be a little bit challenging when you are not learning the language in that country, wherever it is spoken. And so I would recommend even trying to train yourself to think in that language. For example, when you are trying to think of some process, or writing what you want to shop, like next time you go shopping, writing a list, or trying to think of what you did today, for example. Try to process from time to time during the day. It could be like 5 minutes a day, it could be 10 minutes a day, that you sit down and you think, okay, this and this happened today. Hey, how would I say this in German? So you can try to think in German and even practice writing your ideas in German. And this way you can practice both writing and speaking, even if it is just with yourself, even if it sounds crazy, like, oh, you want me to start speaking to myself, but I'm gonna look crazy. It has to start somewhere, because next time you are going to talk to someone, you will have to think, and you won't have the time. So it's a way of start training yourself to think, to start practicing for that potential scenario in the future. So that's it. Those were my tips, and I hope they help you. Happy learning. Viel Spaß beim Lernen.
Okay, thank you, Maria, for that. Maria, like I said, is one of our senior tutors, and she had to send that in because she's not in Germany at the moment, and she is in a region at the moment where it's night, so she had to send this ahead so that you can at least benefit from her. And then we have one of our other senior tutors in the room, Manir, and she's here in the room, and she would like to give you a feel of German. I don't know how or what she has per se. Manir, please, you have the floor.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you're doing well. I've been listening. And yeah, today I'm here to give you a taste of the German language, a little sneak peek. I know some of you, as I've been listening, are already a bit acquainted to the German language. So you are going to not feel lost. But I think all of you are not going to be lost today. Why? Because I think all of us, or almost all of us here, are native English speakers. So I wanted to draw some, how do you say? Okay, I am a French speaker and German speaker before being an English speaker. So, but we are going to see some similarities between German and English. A lot of you are been complaining, telling me that all these stereotypes about the German language. I don't know who is scribbling onto my document. Please don't do that. So some stereotype people have about the German language.
Free Palestine, free Palestine, free Palestine, free Palestine.
Please, who is that? Can you mute? Can you take out that person?
Yes, please. So you have some stereotype about the German language. Someone said it's very complex. It's a harsh language. You hear that it's very difficult to learn. Well, there might be some truth, but it's mostly cliches, and I'm going to prove to you why, especially for English speakers. So as you know, or maybe you don't know, German has a lot of similarities with English. Why? Because they come from the same family. English is a Germanic language, especially a West Germanic language. So is also German. So they are like cousins or even brothers in the language family tree. Please stop scribbling on the screen. Sorry. So they have they come from the same family. They share similar vocabulary, and German is a very straightforward language. So when you learn the rules, you apply the rules. And a lot of you here today are from the medical background. So I know you are kind of acquainted to the thought process of this is a rule, we apply the rule, and we have a result. So it's German, basically. So similar vocabulary, pronunciation is straightforward, unlike English, which is sometimes very inconsistent. You have, for example, island is written Island, but you pronounce it island. You will not have such a thing in German, or very, very few. So we will see. I will need your active participation for this part. Please use the comment section. I want to see the comments. Please comment here. Here We are still here. Can you comment in the chat, please? I will need you to guess these words in English, having established that English and German is very similar. Yeah, I have a first one. So we have here house. Someone is saying it is house. Go ahead, continue. Yeah, someone is saying home, home. Is that correct? You're going to see Wasser, Buch, Buch, Tekel, okay, Apfel. Very good. So a lot of you are guessing right. I hope Wasserflasche, Hund. So some of you are very acquainted to the German language, as I can see. And you are having it right. So house, house. A book, Buch. An apple, Apfel. Dog, Hund, which is similar to the English hound. Wasser, water. School, Schule, hand, exactly the same thing. Hand and body, other body parts, we have arm, Haar, Nase, very similar to English. The family is just Familie, and garden is Garten, and a gardener is Gärtner. Sehr schön. So a lot of people are interested in the German language. Some of you already know. I'm very happy about that. So let's go to the next. So how do we achieve that? I don't know if it's possible to remove the scribbling.
We are trying to do that. We have removed the person who did that, but we're trying to remove the scribbling from here. Can you try at your end if it's possible? But we are, at the moment, we have not been able to do that. But the person has been removed, by the way.
Who said so? Free Palestine, free Palestine, free Palestine, free Palestine.
Okay. I'm not able to remove it, but I think it's still, well, you can still read through it. So how does it happen that German and English have so many similarities? And how will you not feel completely lost when you start learning German? There are some few tricks. And for example, the first trick in vocabulary, even when you've never learned German, just paying attention to some changes, to swapping some letters. I have just few examples here. Of course, it's big and huge, massive. Make, for example, in English is machen in German, and you can see that the K mostly is changed to the CH, like cake, Kuchen, and the TH, it changes into a D. Three, dry, thing, ding, and so on and so forth. Water, Wasser, what, was, that, das, oder das, pepper, Pfeffer, and hope, hoffe, and so many more. We are going to also see the similarity in structure. So the structure, when you come from an English-speaking background, unlike an Arabic or Chinese-speaking background, it's very similar. Subject-verb order, I read book, ich lese Bücher, just word to word, you have the same order mostly. And tense and conjugations, in English you say I speak, I spoke, I have spoken, I will speak. In German, the same conjugation and same equivalent. So when you know your English very well, you'll be able to know your German also very well. Ich spreche, sprach, ich habe gesprochen, ich werde sprechen. And another example, we use the modal verbs a lot in German, just like in English. I can speak German, ich kann Deutsch sprechen, I must learn German, ich muss Deutsch lernen. Those are just a few examples. And having said that, let's come to the learning part. So pay attention for you guys. We are going to learn numbers, and at the end, I'll have a quiz. So please learn and pay attention. So now numbers from 1 to 20, numbers are called Zahlen in German. And the reading is very easy. It's very consistent. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, for 12. And then 13, 14, just 3 and 10, 4 and 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 is 20. We'll stop here today. We are just going to learn on till 20 and come to the next folie. German alphabet. German alphabet is also very straightforward, very easy. Pronunciation is also very easy. I have a few examples here. A for Apfel, B for ball, C for clown, D dino, E elephant, F fish, and you'll be able to recognize all the German English similarities. G Gabel, H Hand, I Igel, J Jacke, K Katze, L Löffel, M Maus, N Nase, O Ohr, P Palme, Q Qualle, R Rakete, S Sonne, T Tasse, U Uhr, V Vogel, W Waage, X Y, Z Jach und Z Zebra. And then we have the special vowels. A umlaut is E, O umlaut is Ö, U umlaut is Ü, and SZ. Very good. I hope you learned something from this. Let's come to the days of the week. Also very similar to the English. Monday is Montag, Tuesday is Dienstag, Wednesday Mittwoch, Thursday Donnerstag, Freitag, Samstag, Sonntag. And as you've recognized already, day will be Tag, like Monday, Montag. And the week is Woche. That's why Mittwoch will be middle of the week, Mittwoch. And weekend is Wochenende. Very logical language, very straightforward language. So, if you pay attention, now I want you to use the chat section again, please, to answer these questions. What is the German word for cake? Like, just choose your question and reply. Find the German word for school. Please use the comment section. 11, very good. Nase, nose. Schule, school, very good. Chido, very good. Tackle. Yeah, what about this week? Friday, Freitag. What is Tasse? What does this word mean? Tasse. In the alphabet. we pronounce Tasa. No one for Tasa? What about tomorrow? Arisa, very good. Laimi, very good. So yeah, if you want to learn more, so tomorrow, how do you say tomorrow in German? Morgen, very good, Jackson. Very good, Lucy. And yeah, morgen with a small M. That was very good. And Tassa? Yeah, well, we are running out of time. So please, if you're interested in learning more, come sign up for our classes at Refi, and I wish to see you soon. Bis bald. How do you say goodbye? Cup, Lucy, very good. Tassa is cup. Cheers, Abdullah, very good. Tschüss. So, auf Wiedersehen und tschüss. Auf Wiedersehen. Danke. Ciao. Ciao sagt man auch.
Okay, so I think Manir is done, right?
Bis später ist auch gut. Thank you.
Manir, are you done?
Yes, I am.
Okay, fantastic. So today we only just give you, so our typical class, you will talk, but of course this is a large room, so we don't want things to get, kind of scattered. So we didn't allow that sort of interaction in this. This is not our typical class, so we can't allow that. That's why you had to use the chat room to type in a few things. And also we couldn't do all the pronouns, all the Einsfei and everything after Manir because of course we don't have that much time. This is just a sneak peek. And most importantly, we wanted to let you see how practical, she mentioned it, and that's what most of us have come to realize about the language. It is a very practical, very logical, I would say it's more logical than English language. So contrary to what, I don't remember your name, what you said, it's not difficult. You just need to understand the rules, a few things. And you, as we all saw now, it's very close to English. So if you have English as your native language, then you even have an edge because then a lot of the words that maybe some people here could even fix just the same way. Manner, why you can period that in 12 weeks for the 8. We are coming to the end of this meeting. It's just a 2-hour meeting, so we have about 10 minutes to go. Now, if you have any questions, again, you have the floor, ask your questions, and then we can call it a day. But if you are, please raise your hands if you have any questions, or you type it in the chat. Grace, please look at the chat and compile urgent, like pressing messages. Please check YouTube for or Facebook, whoever is asking us questions as well, and please read out their questions to us so that they are also a part of this program and they don't miss out. So if you have any questions in the room or outside the room, this is your time. You have the floor. Raise your hands, please. In the chat, which I'm putting there again, applications at verifyconsole.de, and then we can answer your questions. Please make your questions or your emails very clear and straightforward. Otherwise, we may not be able to respond if we are confused. Thank you so much for coming to this program, and we hope to see you some other time. And we hope to see you soon in Germany or Austria if you're interested, or in any of the EU countries if you're interested in any of our services. And bye. Thanks again.